Welcome to the CoCreative Intimacy Podcast. This is an episode addressing communication. And today we're going to be doing an Enneagram Typing interview. And my guest speaker today is Jenn. Hi, Jenn.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Would you like to tell us something about yourself?
So I have an interesting fact about myself that nobody would ever guess, so I like to share this. So I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and our NFL team is the Panthers. And I can actually do the Panther growl so well that I can convince people I am the Panther growl on like that plays during the game. On like the Megatron and everything.
Okay.
So there's my fun fact.
Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. What kind of work do you do in your life, or what's your career passion?
Sure. Well, I guess I've had several career paths during my lifetime. I was a school teacher once upon a time, and then I pivoted into sales from there. I'm a total people person, so sales was right up my alley. Recently, I was laid off, unfortunately, but now I'm freelancing. So I'm freelancing either sales work or virtual assisting until I can start my own business.
Tell me, when you were in high school, way back then, what kind of extracurricular activities were you involved in?
In high school, I was a cheerleader, and it was like the biggest part of my life. I cheered during football season, and I cheered during basketball season. I like lived and breathed it. And that's what I mainly did.
Would you say you were popular?
You know, my school is really cliquey, and I didn't like that. So I like to be friends with everybody. So I wouldn't put me in the popular group, no.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Did you date in high school?
Yes.
Okay. Were you more low-key dating, or did you like enjoy going to the proms and to the school dances and all that?
Oh yeah. I was like, yes. Enjoyed everything. Total extrovert.
Okay. So what kind of grades did you get in high school?
My grades were average. I would say average. Okay. So B, C.
Got it. Do you like to be told what to do, Jenn?
No. I do not. Depends.
So, are you a good advocate of your friends when your friends are not being treated well by somebody in public? Will you jump up and help them?
Yes, I will. Mm-hmm.
Does it like rattle your cage on the inside, and you're looking at them and you're saying, well, why don't you speak up? And if they don't speak up, you're going to walk over there and do something.
Yep. That total. You hit it. Nail on the head. Yes, it's me.
Okay. So I already think I know your type. By the way, I cannot tell you your type. You need to determine what you think your type is. I'm going to give you my observations.
Okay.
So I think you're a type 8. Type 8 is the challenger. The reason I think this is because you've got a big energy. You have a big energy. This is only our second time talking. The last time we talked, which was for only 20 minutes, I noticed your big energy. You're extroverted. By the way, 8s could be introverted or extroverted, but in your case, it's part of that energy.
Yeah.
And you have a likable personality, and I can see that you said today just now that you like people.
Yeah.
So let's talk about more things about type 8s. So 8s do not like being told what to do, but it depends on who the person is and what their voice inflection is. So if somebody says to you, Jenn, we don't want you to do this anymore, and you don't like the way they spoke, you're not going to do it. So would you say voice inflection is important?
Huge.
Tell me more about that.
So I have a hypervigilance, right? So I'm hypervigilant, and I pay attention to like every little thing about people. And it's one of the things that actually my significant other, I will get into little arguments about, because I will say, I don't like the tone you're using. Like it's coming off this way to me. Right. And he's like, well, I didn't say it like that. Well, I heard it. That's how I receive it. So like the hypervigilance part of me, it is created like a very like really intensive observation, like the way people are, their body language, their voice, how loud it is, how soft it is, the words they're using, the words they aren't using, the tone, the inflection, the cadence, all of that I'm paying attention to. So correct. If like you are not, if you use a specific tone of voice, like you mentioned, it'll like shut me down or it triggers me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But conversely, if somebody that you know and love, somebody who is in your inner circle that you are closely connected with, they say, Jen, I need you to do this. I'm guessing that you'll probably have no problem because you already like and trust this person.
Yes. If I've established a form of trust with you and they're like shouting out like in a direction, I'll be like, yep, no problem. I'll help.
Got it. So I'm guessing that you have a big heart.
I do. Yeah.
But some people may question that because some people see you as this pushy person who walks over them, but other people know you have this incredible, beautiful heart. Would you say that you get both kinds of reactions?
Yes. Yeah. I've been told I'm intimidating, but I've also been told, wow, I didn't realize that this is part of your personality and who you actually are. I thought you were like more aggressive, but you have this really softer side to you.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. Okay. So I'm guessing that a common thing that you might hear is, somebody comes up to you and they say, Jen, 4 weeks ago, it's taken me 4 weeks to have the courage to come and talk to you. I've been kind of afraid to talk to you about this, but I decided I finally feel okay with telling you this. But we had that conversation way back when we were in the car and about to hop into the store. And you said something to me and you really hurt me. Now, when you hear this, first I'm wondering if this kind of thing ever happened. But when you hear it, you're probably like, oh my God, really? Did that hurt you? I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Yes, that would be my exact reaction. I feel horrible, if somebody's like, that really hurt my feelings. I feel horrible immediately. And I do say things like I have had a conversation similar where someone has said to me, I didn't come to you. I didn't come to you because I felt like I wouldn't be received well. And I also tend to have a little bit of like reactivity and defensiveness from previous traumas, which communication wise, I am trying to work on that because I know it'll make me more approachable. And that's getting better. But yes, exactly.
Got it. Do you ever eat steak?
I eat everything.
Okay. So when you order a steak in a really nice, high class steak joint, how do you order your steak?
Medium rare.
So let's say you order it medium rare. Again, it's a high quality place. You're with a bunch of friends. Your special celebration. It's a big night. You're dressed extra special. It's going to be a little bit more costly because it's an elegant place.
Okay.
Right? Steak comes, you order it medium. Did you say medium what?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. So you get the steak. It's not medium rare. It's a little bit 2 notches more cooked.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
Am I eating it? I'm sorry. I always have like a million questions. Am I eating it alone? Am I sharing? If it's just me.
Let's say you're alone. Let's say we didn't start off that way, but let's say you're alone. Yes.
If I'm alone, then I would the next time the server came over, or I could flag him or her down. I would just let them know, hey, I ordered medium rare and it's a little bit too medium for me.
So I'm going to be the waiter, okay, and you're going to be you, okay.
Okay.
Well, ma'am, the cook staff told me it's medium rare, so it's okay.
Okay. I'm all right. I'm just used to it having a little bit more pink on the inside. It's not. So is there any way I could just get another one?
Let me check with the cook staff, okay? I'll check with the cook staff, come back. Ma'am, they tell me that this is a medium rare steak.
Okay. Great. So I'm not going to eat it like this. I like medium rare. It's definitely not medium rare. I know what they're telling you, but I'm just not going to enjoy it the way that I like it. So I'm going to order something else.
So, okay, that was good. So you were being really nice.
I was trying to, yes. I don't want to be like really rude. So
Now, what if I was a bit pushy? What if I was a little bit snippy with you? And well, let's say it's very busy and I've got 17 tables to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ma'am, it's medium rare,
Mm-hmm.
I guess what I'm trying to push you a bit. If I was to push you a bit, what would you say?
Oh, I'd get snippy right back. I can be real petty. I'd come in hot.
I'm going to do it. Ma'am, this is medium rare. The cook just told me this is medium rare. And he has been, he's a highly certified chef, blah, blah, blah. It's medium rare.
Okay, well, excuse me. I'm really not appreciating your tone and the way that you're snapping at me. So I'm going to come for you now. This is not medium rare. Medium rare looks a certain way. I don't have to be a trained chef to know that. He knows that. So you're probably not asking him. So at this point, we can take the steak out. Okay? You can either get me medium rare or I'm going to order something else.
Okay. Now, thank you. That was fun.
I'm not proud of that, but oh my goodness, you got me though.
So Jenn, I thought you were going to say, may I speak with your manager?
Oh, you did? Okay.
Is that something that you might have done if you had thought about it?
Yeah, yes. I guess it just depends on, it's going to depend on where it's going to go. It depends on where it goes. And then I think it also will depend on like my mood,
Yeah, let's do this. So let's say the wait staff, you're having this problem. He's going back and forth. And then the manager walks by and the manager's dressed a different way, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They're usually like in a suit or something.
Right.
And he doesn't know what's going on. And he stops by to your table and he says, oh, ma'am, how are things going?
Well, at that point, if I already had that argument, I would say, honestly, they're really not going very well right now.
So you're going to address. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is that a type 8 is not going to put up with something that's not right.
Correct. No.
If they're not getting a good response, like I know some 8s, they will say, can I talk to the manager? And they talk to them. They don't get a good response. Can I talk to your manager? Okay, they talk to that person. Can I talk to the owner? And the owner's not here. Well, can you give me the name and address of the owner on a piece of paper so I can file a complaint? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So an 8 will normally not have a problem with telling them, I'm going to be filing a complaint later, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if I can't get to where I can't get to who I need to in a situation like that, sometimes I just won't say anything and then I'll go and I'll make a phone call when I get home or I'll write an email.
Yeah. So let's take a quick look at a picture. There's the 8. Now, by the way, how much Enneagram knowledge do you know?
Not too much. I've read a little about it, not enough to retain.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So you notice that there's a circle and there's like 9 numbers.
Yep.
And there's 3 sets of 3. 8, 9, 1 are blue, 2, 3, 4 are red, and 5, 6, 7 are green.
Okay.
So I'm suggesting that you might be a type 8, which is in the blue triad, also called the gut triad.
Yep.
So there's 3 body centers. There's the gut, there's the heart, and there's the head.
Okay.
Now, we humans, guess what? We have all of these. Every human has all 3 of these.
Yep.
But it's kind of like a stack. The question is which one may you be giving more preference to? Mm-hmm. Which one is more your natural energy? And in your case, it would be the gut. So what does the gut mean? The gut kind of means intuition. It's like you do things instinctively. You just know.
Yep.
I mean, you have your heart, definitely, and you have your head, but the gut kind of is the one that's the most developed.
Okay.
I'm guessing that there's been times in your life where you didn't follow your instincts or your intuition and you made a decision and later you regretted it.
Mm. Yeah. Are you asking me? 100% valid. Yep. Confirmed.
Yeah. So I think everybody might have a statement like that, but I think it's more accentuated with a type 8.
Well, I'll say this about that. It was so much so, like I always say this now, I trust my intuition 100%. 100%. I'm very intuitive as well. And once upon a time, I did not listen to that, right? I challenged it. Okay. I did not listen to it. And it got me into bad decision making,
Yeah.
or, ooh, that wasn't a good choice. I shouldn't have done that. So now, when my gut tells me good to go, okay. When my gut tells me it's off, bye-bye. So
Got
yes,
it.
100% true.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's look at the diagram. You notice there's lines.
Yeah.
There's a line between the 8 and the 2 and between the 8 and the 5.
Okay.
These lines mean something. If you go with the arrow, it's the direction of stress. If you go against the arrow, it's the direction of growth. So think of it as if you go with the arrow, it's easy
Okay.
and it's easy to stress. Harder to grow, harder to go against the arrow. So what this means is that an 8 grows towards the type 2. So as you're becoming a better and better person, evolving in life, you're becoming more and more nurturing.
Okay. Okay.
So you have this power. You're a powerhouse, but you're able to deliver it in a nurturing, loving way.
Okay.
Does that sum you up?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Whereas maybe when you were less mature, as you were still developing, they both are there, but they're more sporadic. You have less control of that.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I'm going to say something which might bother you, but I want you to just kind of listen.
Okay.
So at the core, 8s are controlling people.
Okay.
Now, it's not always bad to be controlling. For example, you're supposed to control your motor vehicle. If there's a disaster in progress, somebody needs to take control of the situation. So first, I want to say that the word control is neutral. It's not a bad word. Okay. Right. But now do you have a partner?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. The people in your life, your family, friends, especially the very closest people like your partner, I'm going to guess that sometimes you fall into the trap of treating them almost like as a project. Like, this is you, but you need to do this, or this would be good, or, let's do this together. But you're kind of grooming the relationship in a way that you want it to go.
I have done that. Yes. I have done that. Yes.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Not in my eyes, but they might not have liked it. I tend to do that more, Paul, with romantic relationships rather than like friends and family. But yeah, I can be a little bossy.
It has to do with wherever you have a deep heart connection.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 8 by themselves, so I think you're a healthy 8.
Okay. Right. That's good.
So an average 8 is not going to let people see their heart. So a lot of 8s have very tight boundaries. And I'm gonna guess that you have a list of people in your life that's kind of like on your blacklist that you'll never talk to them again.
You got it.
And why is that? What makes them go on that blacklist?
They just aren't matching. Like, they're not matching my peace. They're not matching my energy. They might spend time. They have behaviors that I consider to be like black cloud behavior. So like they might gossip, they might spread rumors, they might, just do things that I just have no interest in doing because it doesn't bring me peace and it's mean, So
specifically, if they're gossiping, if they gossiped about you, or is it about anyone?
About anyone, and me included. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I'm going to say something that I think a lot of 8s would say. You tell me if you resonate with this.
Okay.
You can hurt me once, but you will never hurt me twice.
Correct.
Explain that.
For me, I feel like in the past, I have let people take advantage of me by letting them hurt me more than one time. Now, because I've, grown, I have matured, and I have tools and strategies to help with that. I set a hard boundary. Like, you want to hurt me? Okay, I'm going to address it with you, and I'm going to let you know that you hurt me, or you stepped on a line a little bit. If you do it again, well, and if I don't know you, if I don't know you at all, that's only for people I know, right? Or I'm friends with. If I don't know you, it's like, thank you for showing me who you are. I only need the first time to see it. You're out.
Block.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're a female type 8. This means, so 8s have this male energy. It's a direct energy. It's,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this, that kind of thing. Whereas in society,
Yeah.
female energy is be demure, don't make a fuss, do
Mm-hmm.
whatever they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
not you.
No.
So I'm going to guess that growing up as a female 8 was a little bit challenging because some people would see you as a stereotypical girl and
Yeah.
expect certain behaviors out of you, and it didn't happen. Tell me about that.
So that's really interesting that you bring that up. And I feel like I was just having this conversation recently where there was a part of me that almost felt like I didn't belong, but I couldn't figure out what it was, you know? Like, why am I feeling like that? Like I would be at a friend's house for a sleepover and never have a problem with them, but I would like have this issue, like why I feel out of place, like something's out of place, right? I didn't always feel like I was maybe as girly. And I remember a time where I would never wear a dress. I would never wear, I didn't wear all these like feminine, you think of feminine energy and you think of like, you might think of clothes that typical women would wear. Now I like all those things, but I just remember growing up. Yeah, I did. I felt a little out of place.
So the bottom line is you don't conform to what anybody else wants or to what society says. You do whatever the hell you want.
I march to the beat of my own drum. Yes.
Okay. The statement that I just said was rather strong. Does it match?
It matches with who I am. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
100%.
beautiful. 8s are encouraged to be loving and nurturing. So I have some advice for your friends who have a hard time with you.
Okay.
So when they're in a conflict with you,
Mm-hmm.
what they need to do, if they're afraid to talk to you, they need to find a way to touch your heart. All of those, that powerful side of Jenn will very quickly calm down, and you'll be this teddy bear.
Mm.
Is that pretty accurate?
I think so. Because I feel like I'm working on this in my relationship, making our communication better.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about what you said. And now I'm thinking about situations where, we do talk well communicatively. And then when we don't, and I can think of all the times we have is when he has said something to me that was really, really, it was either sweet, it touched me, it touched my heart, pulled the strings a little bit. And then we were able to talk about something a little bit more challenging and difficult. And there really wasn't like the defensiveness and the reactivity. So yes.
Okay.
That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm learning something. I love it.
Okay, let's look at the diagram and look at the other side of it. So the 8 also goes to the 5. So this is known as the stress path. And that means that when you're stressed out, you take on the qualities of type 5, which is called the observer or the investigator. So what this means that I'm asking you now, is there a part of you that loves to read and research? It could be books, could be internet.
I love to research. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have to read about everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now I want to explain that just because it's your stress path doesn't mean you should avoid it, because between now and next week, most of us are going to stress.
Yeah.
So when you stress, you want to, so if you're a healthy 8, if you're in a healthy 8 space, when you stress, you will go to a healthy 5 space.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, you could be in an unhealthy 8 space and go to an unhealthy 2.
Okay.
So that means that an unhealthy 2 is manipulative and they're nurturing, but with the price, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. I do not resonate with that.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I do not resonate with that. No. Manipulation to me is like,
So I'm going to challenge you on that, Jenn.
Okay.
So remember we were talking about that, how sometimes you're the person that you're in love with is like your project, or could be.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that it doesn't have to be a bad thing, and then you said, oh, well, they might think it's a bad thing, right? So they may be perceiving it as a manipulation.
Okay. You're right. Yep. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even thinking of that. I wasn't even thinking of the other perspective like that. You're right. Right.
Completely normal. Yeah.
Yep.
Completely
You're right.
normal.
Yep. Okay.
So you're a person. So this is another thing that might trigger you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to say you're a person with a lot of anger, but I'm going to say now that anger is a neutral emotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing. Okay. And
Right.
I'm going to give an example of good
Okay.
anger.
Okay.
So good anger is when I'm in the grocery store and somebody is, I'm going to say something really horrible. Somebody is screaming at their child, a
Mm-hmm.
toddler. They might
Mm-hmm.
even be hitting their toddler,
Mm-hmm.
and you're 3 aisles down and you notice this and you think, and you feel anger. That's an appropriate response. That's good, normal anger.
Right.
So when there's injustice in the world, anger is an appropriate response.
Yes, I do feel that.
Now, unhealthy anger is that now that I saw that, I walk over and I punch her in the face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't do that.
So
No.
that's where anger gets its bad rep, is
Yeah.
people think about that.
Right. Right.
Another response to that anger is I could go over there and start talking to that person and hey, can I help you find the cream cheese, or what's going on, and try to get them to change their behavior,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me about anger in your life. Do you have anger wallowing up a lot in you?
So when I was younger, I did feel like I had a lot of it. I didn't know where to like put that energy, right? We didn't really, feelings and emotions was not something that was really discussed in the home. Not because it just wasn't something that was brought up. So I didn't know I didn't know what to do with feelings. You know what I mean? Like things that came over me, I didn't know what to do with them. So like when I was angry, when I was younger, um, it was like I didn't know what to do with all that energy. So I would just like scream and I would like hit things in my room. I would like throw the pillows. I would like push things off of like if there was a desk in there or a dresser. I don't feel like that was a good way for me to be, showing that anger. It's just what I knew to do at the time.
Mhm.
I do not feel like that type of anger so much now. However, I can get triggered to a point where I feel it. I feel like I could throw something right now. I could, and I have like thrown things out of my hands. Now more the anger is like if I see or hear someone saying something that really is unjust, like that will make me angry. But I'm not gonna like go up to them, punch them or whatnot. Yeah. If that
Okay,
makes
good.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Yeah, it makes sense to you.
totally makes sense. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you an example of
Okay.
people that are unhealthy eights.
Okay.
Unhealthy eights, and you can think about the anger. Vladimir Putin,
Okay.
Fidel Castro,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, what's Saddam Hussein, the former president of
Yeah.
Iraq.
Yeah.
And so the next person I'm going to mention, I'm not making a political statement.
Okay.
I'm just mentioning his personality, what I notice. Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So Donald Trump is a person who's very comfortable with letting people know that he's angry.
Mm-hmm.
Very comfortable with anger.
Yeah.
And okay, so let's look at a healthy type 8.
Okay.
Martin Luther King. So he was a Baptist minister, a man of God, a man of the cloth, so to speak. Yet he was angry.
Mm-hmm.
He was passionate. He talked.
Yeah.
And he used that anger. And this is what healthy eights do. Healthy eights will use their anger to do good for the world.
Mm-hmm.
They're wired to look for the rules in
Mm-hmm.
society that need to be broken, and they will
Mm-hmm.
break those rules one at a time, systematically, in order to bring about social change.
Okay.
Tell me about your relationship with rules.
Okay. So rules. It's not that I don't follow rules, but I guess it kind of depends. I think, can you maybe get more specific?
Yeah. So let's say
Okay.
the speed limit is 65. and there's nobody around. There's nobody around, and you're in, what are you going to do?
I'm cruising, going 85.
Okay. So I'm going to make something up. Let's say you're a child and you're like 12 years old, and there's a jar of cookies, and mom says, don't eat any cookies before 5. Okay. After 5 o'clock, you're allowed to eat cookies. Okay. And nobody's at home, and you're alone with this jar of cookies, and they're freshly baked, and they smell so good. And it's 4:45, and mom's not going to be home until 7. What are you going to do?
Okay. I might eat a cookie. Now, I wouldn't do that in school. Okay. If I wouldn't do the same thing at school. I don't know if that should be brought up or not, but I can't.
Let me give an example of what I'm getting at. I'm going to guess that you're not interested in breaking rules left and right.
Yeah.
You like to follow rules, but if somebody gives you a rule that doesn't make sense, or if you notice that this rule is inappropriate, you're not going to, for you, it has no weight. You're going to break that rule.
Yep.
But if it's a good rule and an appropriate rule, you will follow that rule.
Yes.
How does that sound?
That sounds like me.
So I'm trying to think of an example here. Okay. Let's go to history. Rosa Parks says, I am not going to the back of the bus. Now, Rosa Parks was not a type 8. She was actually a type 6. But that's an example of type 8 energy that breaks rules. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's say you were a black person in the 60s, and this is a huge construct here, but and you were boarding that bus, can you see yourself maybe not being too compliant?
Yeah, absolutely. I could see myself not being too compliant. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's see. So to summarize, I think 8s are the strong people with loud energy, big energy. Now you could be some 8s are introverted, some are extroverted. I'm guessing that you're more extroverted.
I have introverted moments, but I am more extroverted.
Yeah. So the important thing about being an 8 is, number one, I want you to know that when people accuse you of being angry, or maybe in your childhood, people said, you're such an angry child. Did that ever happen?
I never was told I was an angry child, but I would also hide that. Like, I didn't show people that. So I wouldn't have been told that. I get more of that response, I think, as an adult, because I know I can come off. I actually make a joke when people say, like, well, you sound mad. Like, why are you so angry? I'll be like, I'm not angry. I'm passionate. So I get that more, I think, now. Oh, you like beautiful. That?
Yeah. So what I want you to know is that, first of all, anger is a neutral feeling. And it's what you do with the anger that's good or bad. And remember now, society tends to label anger as a bad feeling, as a bad thing. So what if anytime you feel like, wow, people are thinking you're too angry and that's a problem, I want you to know that, that's who you are. This is the core of your being from a spiritual sense. That's you. And it's beautiful. That's the way God made you. And so it's, but I love how you said that. You said, you sound like a very healthy 8, because you said, what, I'm not, or I think it's appropriate also. I'm going to give you another idea. You'd say, well, do you sense that I'm angry, or do you sense that I'm passionate? Or
I like that.
In reality, though, I think you're both. I think you're angry and passionate, but they may or may not be ready to hear that.
Right. Yeah.
So in other words,
yes.
If they're not able to hear that you're angry and passionate, fine. Just say, you know what? I think I'm actually passionate, and that'll get them to think it through.
Yeah.
So a lot of people around the 8s think of the 8 as like, it's so hard. She's so unapproachable. I'm scared to talk to her. But then when you find out that that's what they're feeling, you're like, no, please tell me. So what the
Yeah.
other people, I want you guys to know, for those of you who are listening and you have an 8 in your life who could be your boss or your lover, know that they want you to tell them. They want you to tell them, but you need to wait and tell them in a nice way. First of all, you don't want to say to them in a combative way. You want to approach them in a nice way, and they are going to be most likely very eager to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I agree with that. Yes, I agree with that. I love to talk and I love communicating with people, and I really love to understand other people's perceptions and sides. I think that's important, and it's important. We all have opinions and we all have feelings. And just because you feel one versus I do doesn't mean either way is wrong. You know, maybe I did hurt your feelings. I probably did. You probably hurt mine. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I totally agree. You really got me. You got me to a T.
Wonderful. So I'm going to say one more thing about 8s, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
So 8s, when they're less developed, are very careful about hiding themselves from the world. They don't want to let anybody know what's really, really going on in here. They're very private. Mm-hmm. They're very, very private. So the other way of saying that is that they're not interested in vulnerability. Mm-hmm. They're going to, but when they love somebody, especially in a romantic way or in a family way, somebody in your family, and there's a deep connection, then they actually enjoy being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. But they'll only do it in a very carefully groomed set of circumstances.
Okay.
How does that sound to you?
So when I was not as developed, I guess, when I was more immature, yes, I did not like to show my vulnerability, right? Now that's all out the window. I'm showing you me. Now I got to feel the right kind of energy from people too on that space, because I got to feel like I need to, protect my own energy. And some people, it's just bad to give them all of you, right? But for the most part, I am very comfortable with my feelings, and I'm very comfortable with my vulnerabilities. And that's based on a personal opinion that I feel like we sometimes store some feelings inside of us, and we need to get them out, whatever that means. So sometimes my vulnerabilities help me release that, and I'm not afraid to show you that. It's like people, when you start crying, when you start crying, I'm a crier. All right. I'm a crier. Yeah. Now, when you start crying and someone's like, no, don't cry. I actually, that makes me angry, and I'm working on it. That's funny that I said that. It makes me angry because I'm like, no, this is good for me. I need to get rid of it. I'm crying to release. I'm going to feel so much better after this. I might feel like crap right now, but I'm going to feel so much better after I get this out of me.
Well, because crying puts you in touch with your feelings.
Yes.
And 8s love to get to their heart.
Yes.
So that's when you're being a 2. So that's the 8 going to the 2. Okay. So that's when you're your best.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
When you're your best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. I just thought of one other thing. Let's have a little bit more fun.
Okay. I like it.
You're in traffic, right? You're in traffic.
Okay.
And you notice in your rearview mirror, somebody is really close to you, which is known as basically they're riding your ass.
Right. Yeah.
How do you react?
Oh, that drives me bonkers. I get so mad about it. I'll be driving and I see somebody, and if hang on a minute. If the traffic, Charlotte traffic can be awful, right? Which is most of the time. So when I'm in traffic and I'm not too far from the car in front of me and the car behind me is on, my end, all I'm thinking about is this car's going to stop. And I'm going to run into him, and this person's going to run into me. And this is what I'm thinking. So I'm getting mad and heated. So do you want to know what I do in that case?
Yes.
Well, there's several things I might do. I might be an ass and hit the brakes, hey, get off the end there. Or I might move over. If I might just get out of their way and let them go. And I could also, maybe say some things as they're cruising by me to them. Hopefully they notice.
Would you ever use any sign language or anything like that?
Sure, of course. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. My girlfriend uses one of my girlfriends uses a really good one. She puts the thumbs down to people. I think I'm like,
That's
what?
not bad.
I think that would bother me more than the other one. But yes, use sign language over here. Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like or dislike, right?
Right. Exactly.
Right. Okay. Well, this has been a lovely time getting to know you, Jenn. And I want to say that you just have this beautiful aura and you have power. So something else is that the people that are your friends, they know that you've got their back.
Yeah.
You're going to help them. They could be through really difficult circumstances, and you're going to support them. You're going to fight for them, especially when they cannot fight for themselves.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that true?
That's true.
So that's the other beautiful thing about eights is that they're very bonded. They're a protector. They're a protector of all of those that they love.
Oh yeah. Yep. I'll go to town for anyone that I care about.
Well, thanks so much, Jenn. And I think we're scheduled to talk to your partner, right?
Yeah, you'll be talking to him.
That'll be exciting. Can't wait to do that. And then we're going to do one with the three of us.
I know. I'm excited for everything you'll find out individually by him, but I'm really excited for all three. I'm really interested to see what that dynamic will be like.
Thanks for your openness and just sharing so much of what you did.
Of course. And thank you for letting me learn some things today. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Paul.
Okay, bye-bye.